Welcome to New Mexico Restaurants Now, where you get the inside scoop on the food scene across New Mexico. This episode is sponsored by the Hand Solution, providing high-quality hand sanitizer at a competitive price. Stay tuned to the end to hear about their special offer. I'm Carol White, CEO of the New Mexico Restaurant Association, and our guest today is Tristin Rogers, chef at Hollow Spirits Distillery. Tristin is the winner of the Hospitality Industry Award for Chef of the Year. Congratulations and welcome to New Mexico Restaurants Now.
Thank you for having me.
So glad you're here and so glad it was you that won. I know a lot about your career, but it's going to be fun to discuss that with you today. And before we get started, I wanted to let you know that our sponsor has generously donated a $250 restaurant kit of Hand Solution sanitizer to you for your restaurant.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Lots of fun. So, let's get started. Tell me a little bit about Hollow Spirits Distillery.
Well, Hollow Spirits Distillery, we're a local craft distillery. We distill all our own spirits. It was an idea from a dear friend of mine who I've known since the fourth grade. He opened up Red Door Brewery.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
Yeah. So he decided to go in a different direction. He was bought out, and one of his friends kept urging him to build a distillery because, I think New Mexico is really saturated with really awesome breweries. Yeah. So we kind of wanted to go in the other direction. So he called me up. Him and my sister have been friends over the years, and my sister's been bugging him to kind of work with me. So I invited him to a dinner when I was at a previous location, and from there the rest is history. So we decided to open up the Hollow Spirits, and we wanted to have really good food. Mm-hmm. We just didn't want to have food trucks and all that stuff just coming in. So we decided to kind of elevate what's considered to be bar food. So
nice.
It was an easy transition for me.
I'm excited to try it, and I'm sorry to say I haven't been there.
It's
but
quite all right.
I saw the website the other day, and I was like, oh my God, this just looks fabulous.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks really wonderful. And how did you get into the industry? What's your background?
Well, it started. I started cooking at a young age. My grandmother, she was, a wonderful cook. So my mom starting to become a better cook. Well, my mom's always been a good cook, but she was I got more in depth with my grandma because she has, all the amazing recipes. And so that's where my love for it came from. But I think I was 14 and my mom was kind of like, all right, it's summertime. You need to get a job. Mm-hmm. So you can't be sitting around all summer. So I looked, through the classifieds and all that stuff, and then I found a dishwashing job, and so I decided to go for it. I got it, and washed dishes for about 2 months. Some guy called in, so they were kind of like, "Hey, we need someone, so get on the line." They put me on the pizza station. And, oh, man, it was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster. I had a stack of pizzas burnt, and, but after coming out of that, it was like a rush. You know what I mean? It was something that was just like, I got to do this again. So that's where it all started. And from there, I just, had this urge to learn and really try to hone in on my skills and get better because I didn't want to burn pizzas anymore. So.
That's fabulous. A lot of people have that background, where they learned from their grandmother. My mother was a fabulous cook, and I think it skips a generation. I hope it does, because it didn't hit me. Right? I
hope so. Well, see, my mom was a good cook, but my mom only cooked certain things. One of her things she used to use, she used to do boiled chicken with boiled cabbage and rice, and that was one of my favorite dishes, you know what I mean? But I think back at it now, and I'm like, wow, there really wasn't much, It was just this thing she threw together.
She sounds like my kind of chef. If there's more than 2 ingredients, it's just not happening in this house, right? No, that's so fun. So is there a target audience for your restaurant, for your distillery?
Yes. Our target audience was, when we sat down and talked about it, we wanted to target females between 25 and 45. The reason being is because one, a lot of women they don't like beer. Some do. A lot of women don't. So we kind of wanted to target that audience. But not only that, because we wanted a place for females to feel safe. And not have to go to like these, other bars around and kind of always get hit on, and you know what I mean? And then they don't have a good time.
Right.
So we wanted to create a safe environment for females to come and enjoy, a night out with their friends. And I think we've nailed that.
Oh, nice.
We do have a lot of females that come in, and with the females, the men follow.
Sure.
So, but we make sure that our staff is protected, as well as our female guests as well. So we take it very serious. So we have a 3-drink limit. We never exceed that. We stick pretty hard on that, just because we wanted an environment that's safe, that you're not going to come into and have to worry about fights breaking out or knuckleheads coming around. And we're family guys, so like I said, me and my partner, we have kids, and we want our kids to come and run around. And if you come in when we have them there,
they're there.
They're little terrors, but they're there running around, and that was our biggest target, is the females. So,
well, good for you. Yeah. And I do get that, because you really, women want to know that they feel safe somewhere,
Right.
and
Right.
that there's not going to be people drunk and falling over.
Exactly.
Yes.
And they want good cocktails.
Yeah.
So, and that's one thing that we do provide, is really, really good cocktails.
I can't wait to try it. Yeah. So tell me more about your food and your food concept. I want to know, first of all, are you from New Mexico?
Yes.
You
born
are?
and raised.
Really? Okay. Because you look. What's your mix?
I am half black and half Hispanic.
Nice,
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell me about the food and what you've chosen to do with your food.
Well, like I said, we did not want to have your standard kind of typical bar food. We didn't want wings, we didn't want nachos. Like, we just kind of wanted a more elevated kind of experience when you come in, because we believe that when you come in, it's all about the experience. What brings people back isn't just the food, it's everything that goes with it: service, atmosphere, so designing the menu was kind of along those lines of making sure that people enjoy themselves. So, I was born in New Mexico. I love New Mexican food, but you can get that at every corner.
Sure.
So, we don't have, slather everything
Green
in
chili,
green chili
everything,
or
yeah.
red chili. You know what I mean? We just don't do that. We do more thought out, kind of a concept of a menu. So, we take New Mexico flavors and we definitely incorporate them, but we don't make them the star. So, for instance, one of our biggest sellers, our signature dish, is called the 50/50 burger, where we take high premium beef chorizo, and it's ground chorizo. We take that and we mix it with short rib and brisket, and we make a burger patty out of that.
Wow.
And the flavors are
sounds
absolutely
amazing.
intense. We do a chipotle mayo that comes with it, and and then that's where the green chili comes into play. We don't dice up the green chili like most people do. We roast it in-house, and then what we do is we just give you a nice big slice of it, so it's nice and whole, so you actually get all the flavor from it, instead of just dicing it and throwing it like garlic and salt and pepper on it. So we want the taste of it to come through.
My mouth is absolutely really watering, and I just had lunch, so that's
you.
crazy.
But that's our signature dish. It's been our number one seller since we've opened, and it's definitely a fan favorite.
Fun. And what's your favorite?
My favorite right now on this, because we changed the menu with the season. So this fall season, I wanted to get more into entrees and see how they do. So the last menu, I did a tortellini pasta that we actually get made fresh. The chef that makes them for us, her name is Kayla Valleos. So she makes all of our pasta fresh for us and brings it to us. So that one was a big hit. So I was like, well, let's go deeper and see if people really enjoy pasta. Let's give them something else. So we went with the classic carbonara, and it's been flying out of the kitchen. So it's proving to me that people are really wanting really good, solid, amazing ingredients with their food, no matter where it's at. So now we're diving into a lot more, I say, challenging dishes. So one, it challenges the chefs that are in my kitchen, who are amazing, by the way. I just want to put that out there. But it also challenges myself, because now, okay, so you have this amazing dish. Now, what are you going to do to really elevate the next menu? So it gets more difficult every time. But I love it. So, but this menu was definitely thought out to be a little bit more challenging. So,
Very good. Yeah, speaking of that, I had one of the first breweries in New Mexico years and years ago, and we were doing tapas,
yes.
and we basically brought tapas to New Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
We took a trip to Spain and said we got to do this, right?
My God.
And I told people I was
Jealous.
opening up a tapas restaurant, and they thought I was saying topless. And so, and that's about how well it went over as well. Everybody's like, "Where's my food?"
Right? I love tapas.
I do too. And I had a great time in Spain, just figuring them out and figuring out what to bring back. But that was a lot of fun. I really want to say congratulations on the Chef of the Year. And
Thank you.
I know you're a fabulous chef, and I know you help out a lot of other chefs. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, during this pandemic, we kind of, well, a lot of chef buddies of mine were out of work. So and to me, as chefs, we're so busy throughout the day, working 16 hours a day, 17 hours sometimes, 6 days a week. When we're at home, we kind of, with a lot of time on our hands, it drives us crazy. So, so one of my good friends who won last year, Dominic Valenzuela, he really wanted to do some dinners, pop-up dinners. So we were like, yeah, let's do it. So the whole time we were kind of, in limbo with this whole,
Shut down,
open up. While we were able to, we held these private dinners, and of course, COVID safe, and doing all the practices, making sure that we weren't, breaking any rules or anything. But I think what that did was it helped these chefs who were kind of out of work, and just kind of keep them sane, and I think that's what the goal we were going for. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun getting to work with a lot of your colleagues, and you know what I mean, and actually bring us together, because there's a lot of friction between some chefs, and to be able to bring us, show other chefs that might have conflict with other ones, that hey, like, what's good for one chef is good for all of us. You know what I mean? If one makes it and one's doing great things, then it's just going to bring attention to New Mexico.
It elevates the whole industry.
So there's no sense of not, rooting on your fellow colleague.
Nice.
You know what I mean? You should do that. So that was kind of our idea behind it too, was bringing in the camaraderie and, really pulling together and helping each other out during these difficult times.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. I mean, that's very inspirational, actually. And,
Thank you.
And I do know chefs can have that whatever it is.
Ego.
Yeah, that could be
we have egos. I'm not gonna lie. I have a bit of an ego, but I also know where I come from, and I also am able to be humble at the same time. So when it comes to food, yeah, we're a little.
Oh, I know you to be more humble than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's what makes us chefs.
So, tell me a little bit about your biggest challenges since March this year.
Man, the biggest challenge has been, I think, dealing with our associates. You know what I mean? It's always it's different when, you know what I mean, when as a business, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We've actually done great. during the pandemic. Like I'm not gonna lie, a lot of bars have been shut down. So it's
that's right.
while we were able to open up, we've gotten a lot of new customers. And a lot have been coming back in, and they're becoming repeat customers. People saying, "Hey, we didn't know you guys were here. Like, this is amazing." Blah blah blah. Like, so in a weird way, this pandemic's kind of slingshotted us into another direction, which you feel bad about because a lot of other businesses are really struggling, and it's it's heartbreaking. But at the same time, it's our business. It's our business. We have to do what we can. So during this pandemic, I think the biggest thing is keeping our associates happy and sane, and making sure that they're taken care of. But I think we've done a really good job at it. We've been trying to stay as busy as possible. We're constantly always doing something at Hollow Spirits. Like it's a moving train. So it's like, we don't have time to kind of like sit back and be like,
and wait for it,
and
right?
wait for it, So, and I think that's what's going to separate some of these businesses from, the ones that survive this, is because who knuckled down and who hustled the best that they can, and I think that's, that's important. So taking care of your people and making sure that they're doing well, and then constantly working, and just
well,
not
and you're
stopping.
young, and I think tell us a little bit about your other partners, because I think they're young too, and
Yes.
you need that kind of youth and energy
Well,
sometimes.
Frank Holloway is, he's my partner, and him and his mom are actually majority partner. They're, they're the ones that put in most of the money. So, they're amazing. I mean, they're amazing. At times it's funny when you work with mother and son. You know what I mean? Because it's like, their dynamic is so awesome. It's fun to watch. But you know, yes, you do have to have that energy, especially with Donna. Donna is like Superwoman. Donna's Frank's mother, so Donna's Superwoman. Like she wants to get things done, and it's like it's got to get done. Like you know what I mean. So there's no, there's no breaks. There's no like, hey, like I'll be tired. She'll be like, hey, come help me with this real quick. And it's like, and you know what I mean. So keeping up with her is definitely, you need the energy. And she's older, obviously.
Right, older than Frank anyway, right?
Exactly. So it's like, having to match that energy, I think, is what gives me and Frank the energy to do the same thing too. So, it just, you know what I mean? We want to be trailblazers. We want to be the top of distilleries. So, and with doing that, you can't stay still. So you can't accept, just mediocrity. So you gotta hustle. So that's what we try to do.
That is absolutely fabulous. So one thing, tell me what it feels like to be chosen among, I mean, there were probably at least 20 or 30 chefs that were put up as nominees for the Chef of the Year. So, and you excelled above all of them.
Wow. I'm humbled. I'm like honored to be mentioned amongst a lot of these chefs. I mean, God, what do you say to that? Like it's a humbling experience. I watched 3 of my good buddies win it. Mike White,
That's right.
one of my big role models who I look up to, Mark Quinones, won it, and then one of my really good friends, Dominic Venezuela, won it. So it was like to see them and to be mentioned amongst them, who I've looked up to in this industry. It's humbling. Like I'm blown away. I can't stop smiling. So.
Well, we're so happy that you won, and I tell you, I am a little bit sad because we don't get to present the award to you among 500 people, but
okay.
we'll do something next year too.
It's
make
okay.
Sure.
This. I am perfectly okay with this.
Okay.
Like it's just being able to say Chef of the Year is okay with me.
Good. Well, I want to ask: is there anything else you want to tell us about your restaurant, or Anything before we close?
Well, thank you so much for the support that that you guys have given us, being members, and we appreciate everything that you guys have done for us, especially during this pandemic. We're very, very grateful. So thank you so much for everything you do for us. One of the things that we're trying to do right now, and that is in the works, is using the platform that we have now with the awards that we're winning, is to raise awareness for mental health in our industry, because it's very important to me because, like I said, as chefs, we work 16, 17-hour shifts, 6 days a week. Being at home where we are constantly in our heads and not being able to occupy ourselves is very dangerous.
Yes.
Especially because some of us, in this industry, it's high in substance abuse and anxiety and depression. So I don't think it gets talked about enough. So our next project right now is we're spearheading a campaign of raising awareness and trying to help out these nonprofit organizations, to give them better resources to help with these industry people, and just give them a gateway into finding where they can get help. And also, like I said, just raising the awareness itself. So that's going to be our next huge push and campaign right now. And yeah, things are in the works right now. We're going to do a quarterly cooking competition.
Nice.
That's going to help raise money for these nonprofit organizations. So hope if any of my chef buddies are out there listening, we're going to hold a real serious competition here coming up soon. So the more details will come out in the future. So
fabulous. Well, I know that is a problem, and I've heard some really sad stories, especially during the pandemic when people are at home. And so if there's anything we can do to help, as a matter of fact, before the pandemic, my board president was very interested in getting the word out. So if we can help, please let me know what we can do.
That would be amazing. Actually, I was speaking with Candela, and we're kind of in talks, but I wanted to pull you folks in as well, just to help raise awareness and stuff like that, because it's a serious thing and nobody's talking about it. And I think really the conversation, like the light, kind of went off after hearing about the death of Anthony Bourdain. Then the pandemic hit, and then it's kind of like this thing is so under the radar right now, and it's happening to a lot of really good chefs out there. So raising the awareness and just letting them know that they're not alone in the fight, I think it's gonna do wonders for them. So
good. Again, let me know what we can do.
Absolutely, thank you.
And I want to thank our sponsor, The Hand Solution, who provides high quality hand sanitizer and disinfectant at a competitive price. Order your NMRA restaurant kit today at thehandsolution.com/NMRA. The first 20 orders will be entered into a drawing for free hand sanitizer for a year. Ooh. I know. Can you imagine that?
Can use that.
Yeah, no kidding. And thanks for tuning in to New Mexico Restaurants Now. You can watch this and other episodes on the New Mexico Restaurants Now YouTube channel, and you can subscribe to the audio podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. Thanks to The Hand Solution for sponsoring this episode, and thank you so much for being here, Tristin.
Thank you for having me.